Joey versus Rex, the rematch. After being defeated by Joey all the way back in Duelist Kingdom and taking his Red Eyes prize card, now with a chip on his shoulder, a more powerful deck, and the power of the Seal of Orichalcos on his side, Rex challenges Joey to a duel. Spoilers, despite all of Rex's advantages going into the duel, ultimately, he loses. But that begs the question, did Rex really have no ways of winning this duel? With any changes in his plays, could the outcome of the duel have been different? And most importantly, while we're analysing this duel, just how lucky did Joey get in this duel when he was put in dire situations with his luck-based cards? We won't know unless we jump into the duel. The duel begins and Rex goes first. He draws, and his opening hand consists of the Seal of Orichalcos, 2 copies of Gillosaurus, Kaito Terra, Giant Rex, and Jurassic Heart. Rex wastes absolutely no time and immediately activates the Seal of Orichalcos. Now, for the rest of this duel, Rex's monsters will gain 500 attack points. His monsters can be summoned into the spell and trap zones, and monsters in the spell and trap zones can't be attacked if there is a monster in front of them. Rex will never use this, which I've just realized most of the duels in the Seal of Orichalcos, people don't actually take advantage of this, but regardless of the point, the most important thing that you need to keep in mind about the Seal of Orichalcos is now whoever loses the duel loses their soul. And so, Rex activates the effect of the 2 Gillosauruses in his hand, which is that they can special summon themselves straight to the field. However, by doing so, the opponent can special summon 1 monster from their grave to the field. Since Joey has no cards in his graveyard yet, basically he gets 2 special summons to the field for free. Rex follows this play by normal summoning his Kaito Terra to the field. He then sets Jurassic Heart face down and ends his turn. Note that all the monsters Rex summoned gained 500 attack due to the Seal of Orichalcos. Might as well mention, just for closure, can Rex special summon Gillosaurus without Joey having any monsters in his graveyard? Yes, he can. In the real world, Gillosaurus, when it's special summoned, lets the opponent special summon a monster from their hand. However, since the effect is a can, it isn't a mandatory thing that has to happen for it to work. By that logic as well, it's exactly the same thing for in the anime, where if your opponent has so many cards in the graveyard, yeah, you can still special summon them for free. The more you know. It's Joey's turn, and he draws. His opening hand consists of Panther Warrior, Rocket Warrior, Scapegoat, Metal Morph, Magic Arm Shield, and Star Blaster. Joey summons his Panther Warrior to the field. Unfortunately, since Panther Warrior requires a monster to be tributed in order to attack, Joey simply sets his Scapegoat quick play spell face down and ends his turn. To be fair, with a 2000 attack Panther Warrior on the field, it is technically the strongest monster on the field, meaning that Rex's monsters can't attack over it. It's still got 1900, so it's a good offense as a good defense. This is a fine play from me. Now, it's worth noting, alternatively, Joey could have activated his Scapegoat this turn. He could have then tributed one of the Scapegoat tokens to allow Panther Warrior to attack and destroy one of Rex's monsters. Preferably Kaito Terra, since it's different to the other 2. I'm hoping he'd go for that one, because if he did, then Rex on his next turn would lose his fusion material. However, saying that, on Rex's next turn, he'd just make Giant Rex and attack over Panther Warrior. The duel would continue as normal from here until we get to the turn where Joey wants to summon his Red Eyes Black Dragon. Unfortunately, a knock-on effect has occurred and Joey won't have a monster to tribute to activate his spell's effects. So, if Joey would have gone on the offensive this early, well, he would have lost the duel later. It's back to Rex, and he draws Polymerization. He activates it straight away, fusing his Kaito Terra with one of his Gillosauruses in order to fusion summon his Horned Saurus. Thanks to its effect, it can attack directly on the turn it's fusion summoned. After this, Rex normal summons his Giant Rex. Its effect unfortunately prevents it from attacking if the opponent controls no monsters. Luckily, Joey does. And so, Rex enters his battle phase. First, he orders Hornsaurus to attack Joey directly thanks to its effect. Joey's life points drop to 1500. Giant Rex then attacks and destroys Panther Warrior, leaving him with only 1,000 left. Finally, attempting to go for game, Rex orders Gillosaurus to attack Joey directly. However, Joey activates his Scapegoat, which summons 4 sheep tokens to the field into defense. A replay occurs and Gillosaurus destroys one of those sheep tokens. Rex ends his turn. Now, the play that Rex just did, absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. He thought he was going to go for game, which he was, unless Joey had something that could interrupt him, which he did. There's no way he could have known what the face down card was. It would have been safe to assume it probably would have stopped him, but that's regardless of the point. Nothing wrong with the play that Rex did. However, what if he did this a little bit different? Could he have changed the outcome of the duel? Yes, he could have. He could have won on the next turn. Through the power of hindsight, if he simply summoned Giant Rex and attacked with all 4 of his monsters, well, yes, he would have won the duel. Giant Rex attacks and destroys Panther Warrior, dealing 500 damage. The 2 Gillosauruses and Kaito Terra destroy 3 out of the 4 sheep tokens. On the next turn, Joey would summon his Rocket Warrior into defense and set 2 of his traps face down. Now, back to Rex, he would just go straight into his battle phase and attack with all 4 of his monsters. Joey would try to use his magical arm shield, but it would be negated. His other set trap, Metalmorph, sadly wouldn't be able to help him on defense. So, Giant Rex would destroy the last sheep token, Kaito Terra would destroy Rocket Warrior, and the 2 Gillosauruses with 1900 attack each would attack directly, dealing 3800 damage, thus winning Rex the duel. Again, I can't stress enough, Rex's initial play was absolutely fine, and only through the power of hindsight would you really know to do this play instead. However, sometimes more monsters on the field is better than just one big monster. But again, I can't hold this against Rex. It's not a misplay. It's just, if he'd have gone this route, he would have won the duel. Getting back to the duel, it's Joey's turn, and he draws Celebration of Creation. He summons his Rocket Warrior to the field into defense. With no way to deal with any of Rex's monsters, he sets Metalmorph and Magic Arm Shield face down, and then ends his turn. It's Rex's turn, and he draws Chain of the Underworld. Rex moves into his battle phase and uses Hornsaurus to attack Rocket Warrior. In response, Joey activates his Magic Arm Shield. The plan? To take control of Gillosaurus and force Rex's monster to attack Gillosaurus, thus destroying one of his monsters, and I think in the anime it would also inflict damage to the opponent as well, since it was his monster. Don't quote me on that one though. I'm not too sure. I'd have to check it, however it appeared in other duels and stuff. But regardless of the point, it doesn't work. This is because Rex activates his set counter trap, Jurassic Heart. This card negates the activation and effect of a trap card that would target a dinosaur-type monster. Magic Arm Shield is negated. Rocket Warrior is destroyed by the battle. Giant Rex then attacks and destroys one of the sheep tokens, followed by Gillosaurus destroying another. Rex ends his turn by setting Chain of the Underworld face down. It's Joey's turn, and he draws Red Eyes Black Dragon. Are you ready for some absolute insane luck? Well, Joey activates his Star Blaster by tributing one monster on his field. He tributes the only monster he has, his last sheep token. Due to Star Blaster's effect, Joey must now roll a die. If the result of the die roll, combined with the level of the monster he tributed, equal the level of a monster in Joey's hand, he can special summon it. Let's do the maths here. Joey has Red Eyes Black Dragon in his hand. That's 7 stars. He's just tributed a sheep token, which is 1 star. So, Joey will need to roll a 6 in order to get 7, meaning he can summon his Red Eyes Black Dragon to the field. If Joey rolls anything other than a 6, he will lose the duel. And so, with only a 16.7% chance of rolling the exact result he needs, Joey rolls the exact result he needs. Red Eyes Black Dragon is summoned to the field. To be fair, they do address Joey's luckiness at the start of this duel, which Joey cringes at and everything, but it is true. We'll let this one slide. One big lucky moment in a duel is absolutely fine. I'm sure it wouldn't happen again. Anyway, Joey follows this play by activating his set Metal Morph. This trap equips itself to Red Eyes, increasing its attack and defense by 300. But not only that. Now, whenever Red Eyes declares an attack, it will gain attack equal to half the monster it battles. Note that this only works on the offense. If it's attacked, it doesn't get the boost. And so, Joey enters his battle phase and uses Red Eyes to attack and destroy Rex's Horned Saurus. Joey ends his turn by setting Celebration of Creation face down. It's Rex's turn, and the penultimate turn of the duel. He draws and gets Tyrant Dragon. Real quick, I just want to ask this, is Tyrant Dragon like Rex's new Red Eyes Black Dragon for his deck? Rex is like a dinosaur duelist that seems to have like a dragon as like the spearhead of the deck. So is that what Tyrant Dragon is? This is the question for all of you. Is that how it works? Anyway, with no monsters able to get over Joey's 2700 attack Red Eyes, Rex tributes Gillosaurus and Giant Rex to summon Tyrant Dragon. Rex enters his battle phase and attacks and destroys Red Eyes. Since Metal Morph's attack boost only works on offense, unfortunately, it didn't save it. Upon a monster's destruction, Rex activates his set trap, Chain of the Underworld. Thanks to this trap, the moment a monster is destroyed, it is special summoned back to the field with 700 less attack. The downside is that the opponent gets to draw a card. A weakened Red Eyes returns to the field into attack. Joey draws one new card. He gets Gearfried the Iron Knight. Now, the reason why Rex wants Red Eyes back on the field is for two reasons. One, Rex wants to punish Red Eyes. This was originally his monster, he feels like it's betrayed him, so he wants to destroy it twice in battle to show it who's boss. In terms of the duel, however, it's much simpler. Rex's new boss monster, Tyrant Dragon, has a special ability. If it destroys a monster by battle, it can attack again once more into another monster. But not only that, it also has a bit of immunity. It can negate and destroy any trap card that would target Tyrant Dragon. Nice bit of protection there. And so, Tyrant Dragon attacks again, attempting to go for game. Joey, however, activates his set Celebration of Creation, which can only be activated if a monster is special summoned via a spell or trap. Due to this trap's effect, Rex's turn immediately comes to an end. Note that since that trap didn't target Tyrant Dragon, it just affected the field or whatever, it wasn't negated or anything like that, so Tyrant Dragon couldn't stop it, basically. It's Joey's turn, and the final turn of the duel. He draws and gets Pot of Greed. Now, while activating Pot of Greed first would have been the much safer and smarter move to make, this is Joey Wheeler. He instead first summons his Gearfried the Iron Knight into attack. The reason this is risky, if Joey activates Pot of Greed now and gets nothing, well, he's guaranteed to get a loss on his next turn. Tyrant Dragon just attacks into the attack position Gearfried, it's over. What he could have done, activate Pot of Greed, oh, I didn't get anything good. I've only got Gearfried, set Gearfried face down. Rex would have to draw another monster in order to win on his next turn. If he doesn't, then he's just going to attack with his Tyrant Dragon, and Joey would get another turn. It was a weird risk to make, and the only reason I could think you would make that risk is if you knew, or you wanted to take a massive gamble on the fact that the next card you're going to draw is going to guarantee you win with Gearfried the Iron Knight on the field. Which is what happens. At the end of the day, what am I talking about? This is Joey Wheeler. He's willing to risk it all, gambling on the perfect top deck. And so he activates Pot of Greed. This lets him draw two new cards. He gets Release Restraint, a card that can only be used on Gearfried the Iron Knight, and the Claw of Hermos, which luckily Joey has another monster on the field that he can fuse it with to make it into an equip spell, which this monster will benefit from. What insane luck you have, Joey. Well done. And so, with all the pieces in place, Joey goes for game. He activates Release Restraint. This card's effect tributes Gearfried the Iron Knight on the field in order to special summon Gearfried the Sword Master from his hand, deck, or grave. Gearfried Sword Master is summoned to the field, which, fun fact, is the true form of Gearfried, and it's a really cool backstory to this card. Basically, the iron surrounding Gearfried was actually restraining his powers. And when you think about it, Gearfried's ability not to be equipped by spells is a reference to how Gearfried personally nerfed himself by promising to never wield a blade again. I never knew that about Gearfried. That's actually pretty cool how its lore now ties into its card effects. That's pretty sweet. Absolute shenanigans in terms of Joey Wheeler top deck luck, but still pretty cool. Joey activates the final card in his hand, his legendary dragon, the Claw of Hermos. Due to its effect, it can fuse with a monster to become an equipped spell. He fuses it with Red Eye's Black Dragon to make the equipped spell Red Eye's Black Dragon Sword. It equips itself to Gearfried's Swordmaster. Due to Gearfried's effect, by being equipped with an equipped spell, its effect allows Joey to destroy one card the opponent controls. Joey destroys Tyrant Dragon. Red Eye's Black Dragon Sword effect allows Gearfried to gain 1000 attack, and then a further 500 attack for each dragon on the field. With no dragons anymore, Gearfried's attack sits at 3600. Joey enters his battle phase and orders Gearfried to attack Rex directly. With only 2,550 life points left, Joey wins the duel. Rex's soul is taken by the seal of Orichalcos. Now, in terms of could Rex have won this duel? Well, we established it. Yes, he could have. However, it was through the power of hindsight. In terms of Joey, there was no way of him winning any earlier in the duel or anything like that, and the plays that they made with the cards that they had, they kind of had to stick with what they got, basically. So there wasn't much deviation either one of them could have done. I will say, Joey felt very main character treatment in this episode with the amount of luck he was getting. Rolling the 6 in the 1 of 6 chance, that's fine. Top decking the 2 most perfect cards. I don't know. He already had some very perfect cards to deal with very perfect situations. Oh, if my opponent special summons a monster using a spell or trap, I can activate this card. Well, that was lucky. But at the end of the day, this was a fun duel, and it's nice to see Rex and Joey get their rematch. Want to watch my top 10 on Joey Wheeler beating the odds? Well, I have a video for that right here. Or perhaps you'd rather watch this one. Well, you can watch that one if you want to. It's completely up to you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you later.